So today I am here to talk with you about uh, a topic uh, that is maybe not very nice, not a very nice topic. Today I want to talk with you about 5 ways that nice can slowly destroy your company. And I am not kidding. Nice can destroy your company, and it will not do it in a very quick and obvious way. It's very likely to destroy your company slowly, to destroy your company in a very unobtrusive way, just kind of slowly poisoning the system. And the key, the root of how nice being nice can do this is that there is an important distinction that people fail to draw between being nice and being kind. Being nice, I'm saying, is polite. Being nice is not risking hurting other people's feelings. Being nice is not risking making other people uncomfortable. And kind, by contrast, is about putting other people's interests high on your priority list, making other people's goals related to or even the same as your own. That's kind. So let's talk about these 5 ways. The first of these of these ways that nice can destroy your company, poison it from within, is what people call the meeting after the meeting. And this is imagine, we've gone to a meeting, and in this meeting, my peers are presenting some plan. They're presenting some ideas that I think is almost certainly going to go off the rails. I don't want to embarrass them. I don't want to challenge them. It's not my business if they go down the primrose path, and so I uh, don't go along. Excuse me, I don't object in the meeting to their plan or to their ideas. I don't bring up any of my concerns in order to not have to have a difficult conversation, especially one in public. And I also don't go to them later to express those concerns and have to deal with that difficult conversation. I'm very nice. I might even smile and nod. In fact, I'm thinking right now of that scene from Jerry McGuire very near the beginning of that movie, where Jerry has written some memo to the company about how they need to change their ways and go back to a more having greater integrity, and be kinder, essentially, in their marketplace. And everybody's clapping, including these 2 supposed friends of his. And one turns to the other, still cheering and clapping and pretending to smile and be in full support, and says something to the effect of, "I give him a week, right? He's going to be fired within a week." That is nice. They appear to be all in support. It is unkind because they are essentially throwing him or allowing him to go to the wolves. That is not exactly the meeting after the meeting. It's essentially the same thing. So the meeting after the meeting is the first of the 5 ways that your company may be being undermined and poisoned from within by nice. And here we are in the Northwest, where they talk about Northwest nice. If you are in the Northwest, this is a particularly prevalent disease here in our area. So I've already talked about the primrose path, the garden path. There, as an example of one of the things that happens with the meeting after the meeting. So let's address this as way number 2, that nice could be leading your company to destruction. And this, there's the expression, "lead me down the garden path," and that basically means lie to me, and in order to get me to go to where you want me to go. Well, you can also let me go down my own garden path. I may be lying to myself. I may be missing important things. I may be performing badly in my job. And if nobody says anything to me about that, then they're allowing me to go down the garden path. Very often, we hear people say things in business after something has failed miserably. Somebody will say, "Yeah, I could have told you that was going to happen." Well, then why didn't you? Why didn't you tell me that that was going to happen, or that that was likely to happen? And very often, the answer to why didn't you is, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I didn't want to make waves. I didn't want to challenge you. I didn't want to embarrass you. All of these ways in which people are nice, sometimes to spare your feelings, and very often simply to spare themselves the discomfort of having a challenging or broaching a challenging topic, having a challenging conversation. So don't let people go down the garden path, and create an environment, create a culture where if somebody seems to be going down the garden path, we raise our hands and say, I do not think that is the best way to go. Here's why. Let's talk about it. I'm not talking about being mean instead of being nice. I'm talking about being kind instead of being nice. So, very closely related to the garden path, and maybe arguably an example of one of the places that the garden path happens is in nicey nice management. And there is a lot of that here in the Northwest. Managers being nicey nice. And this is connected to something you may have heard me talk about before, that if there are no consequences for consistently missing a job requirement, that it is not, in fact, a job requirement. I'll say that again. If there are no consequences for consistently missing a job requirement, then it is, in fact, not a job requirement. It's just something that's on your wish list as a manager. And so if you are not telling people about the ways that they may be falling short in performance, if you're not giving them a heads up about the ways in which you need or want their performance to improve or change, if you're not telling people about the ways that they are treating each other in the office, or treating your clients, or treating your vendors that are not acceptable, then you may be being nice. You are not being kind. And your culture is defined by the worst behaviors tolerated in your company. And if you are not addressing these behaviors, then by default, you are tolerating them. And that's not just about kind of awful toxic behaviors. It's also about gaps in performance. I can think about one client that we worked with where somebody in their accounts receivable office was unwilling to make phone calls to people who were not paying their invoices. Um, she was too nice to have to initiate that difficult conversation. That's not good for your bottom line. And her supervisors were too nice to require her to do it. And that is not good for your company culture. It's not good for her growth. It's not good for your cash flow. And therefore, it's not good for your business. So, nicey nice management is, and this is coming from the guy who's all about having a humane, supportive, got your back, psychologically safe environment. So I say again, I'm not encouraging cruelty. I'm just saying, don't let nice get in the way of kind. Don't let nice get in the way of effective. Don't let nice get in the way of assertive. All right, let's look at number 4. The number 4 way that nice may be slowly destroying your company: lost sales. There's a difference between pushy sales, and you may have seen a recent video that I did about that after I got one of the world's pushiest sales calls. Pushy turns people off. Pushy may even get people to buy just to get you to go away, and it will ruin your reputation in the marketplace, and will ensure that you don't do repeat business with those customers, and you don't get referrals from those customers. And there's a difference between that kind of toxic pushiness and simple assertiveness. Asking for more information. Tell me more about why you say you don't need that. Tell me more about why you say the price is too high. Tell me more about why you're not interested right now. There are lots of ways to be respectfully assertive and create the greatest potential for opportunity that serves the prospect, that serves the client, and simply being nice and saying, okay, I'll go away. Pardon me. Excuse me. Sorry for wasting your time. So nice can sabotage your sales. And then the last way that I'm going to talk about today, certainly not the last way that nice can be a deteriorating, destructive force in your company, is that it can hobble implementation. And what I mean here is that you've got work to do for your clients, and your clients, like most humans, are probably going to resist change. They're going to potentially resist your expertise because in most fields that I know of, some of the conventional wisdom is bad. It's unwise. And so you as a true expert know some things that what may be obvious to your customer on the surface seems like a good idea, yet you know it's a bad idea. And if you're nice, then you're potentially going to spend a lot of time kind of engaging with that idea. You might even set aside your expertise and go with it because they're the customer and the customer is always right. And so implementation then is not as good as it could be. It takes longer than it should, and it doesn't in the end serve the client as well as it could. And so your reputation once again suffers in the marketplace because you're not, as a company, delivering the quality of implementation that you might otherwise deliver if you weren't to be so nice, but instead be assertively kind. So my subtitle here for this bullet you may see on your screen is experts' expertise. The expertise that you have as an expert has value only if you assert yourself. That expertise left out of the conversation has no value to anybody. So those are the 5 ways that I am asserting with my expertise that nice is very likely destroying your company. And if you're in the Pacific Northwest, where we have this Northwest nice concept, then I suggest you take a good hard look at the ways in which people may be avoiding the difficult conversations, avoiding the kind of assertiveness that leads to better business for you and better service for your customers. Assertiveness is not necessarily unkind. In fact, some of the most assertive moments in my life have come from people with great expertise that has served me incredibly well. And I will always be grateful for Mrs. Kirschman, my 8th grade English teacher, who was not nice, but was very kind and very assertive and changed my life for the better. I will always be grateful to the experts that I have hired who have helped me get out of my own way. And I will always be frustrated by the experts who did what I asked them to, when what I asked them to do was not wise, and they knew it. They knew it, and they did not object. They just wanted to be nice instead of being kind. I'm Aaron Schmuckler, CEO at the Yes Works, and I value your time and attention. So thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. Hope that this has been valuable. And if it is, please share it. These are the kinds of insights that help other people with their business. And your sharings could be an act of great generosity and a nice little deposit into the gratitude economy that you are a part of. Thanks very much.